Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ali Gohar. Tonight we're going to focus on cricket and we'll begin with the friendly match that happened in North Waziristan between the Pakistan 11 and the English Media 11. It was absolutely fantastic to see a full house. It was loaded with electrifying enthusiasm. There were lots of high-level officials there, and in the end Pakistan won by 133 runs, but that didn't really matter. It wasn't about the result. It was about cricket being played in Waziristan. And Peter Oban, the author of Wounded Tiger, it's all about Pakistan cricket. I think he knows the most about Pakistan cricket, does Peter Oban. He wrote a fantastic book on the history of Pakistan cricket, and he spoke very, very well at the end of the match. His words were very touching. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Then we'll move on to news which isn't so great. Yesterday, Khalid Latif was banned for 5 years. We'll talk about Khalid Latif's 5-year ban from all forms of cricket. And then we'll move on to the upcoming series, the upcoming test series between Sri Lanka and Pakistan. The Sri Lankans have announced their test squad. A couple of new players have come in. We all know that Sri Lanka is under a great deal of pressure. They were battered by the Indians in the test match series, so they'll have a lot of work to do if they want to get the better of the Pakistanis in the two-match series, the two-match test series in the UAE. And if we have time, we'll talk about the second ODI that's taking place, the second ODI in Calcutta between Australia and India. Remember, India are 1-0 up in the series. But first, we're going to focus on the friendly match up north with three guests in the studio. I have with me Mr. Mohsin Ijaz. Mohsin, Assalamu alaikum. Great to see you.
Thank you very much.
We also have Syed Mohammed Awais. Awais, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam Ali, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. And we also have Mr. Nasrullah Khan. Nasrullah, Assalamu alaikum. Wonderful to see you.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you so much, Ali.
Mohsin, the match in North Waziristan. I mean, at the end of the game, Peter Oban, the author of The Wounded Tiger, spoke. That's, for people who don't know, that's the history. He wrote a book about the history of Pakistan cricket, and I thought his words were very touching. He's an eloquent speaker. He said he was so well looked after. It was a pleasure for him to be here in front of this packed house. The level of enthusiasm was absolutely wonderful, and he was encouraging teams from all over the world to come to tour Pakistan. So I thought this was a fantastic initiative.
No doubt, it was more than cricket, and it was a wonderful gift for the people of Miran Shah, and we have showed the world that how peace-loving are we, and how excited and passionate are we when it comes to cricket. And I was watching that cricket match in Miran Shah. We all know that North Waziristan's it's North Waziristan's hub, and it was the most disturbed area during the war against terror. But now Pakistan Army and all the security agencies of Pakistan have made sure that cricket can take place anywhere in Pakistan, and it was a wonderful display of cricket today. And especially credit goes to Pakistan Army, the Zalmi Peshawar Zalmi and their management, and Pakistan Cricket Board, because it was a wonderful atmosphere there. And we have showed it to the world that we are a sports-loving people, and if cricket can happen in Waziristan, then it can happen anywhere in Pakistan. And the crowd, if you look at the crowd, they were really very happy watching their superstars in front of them, and it was a great achievement by Pakistan Cricket Board, I guess.
Absolutely, yes. They did a fantastic job. You mentioned the Pakistani Army. They did a wonderful job, as did Peshawar Salmi and whoever else was involved. But we were looking at the images there, Wes, and I mean, the crowd, I mean, they were just so happy to see their heroes. And you saw Inzamam hitting some big sixes over mid-wicket. That's what he used to do when he was playing. Shahid Afridi hitting a straight six. That probably gave them so much happiness.
Ali, I mean, if you just, I mean, I was just
definitely gave them so much happiness.
I was just going through them images. I mean, see the crowd. I mean, the enthusiasm over there still. Ali, it's just not about Fata. Wherever you go in KPK, I mean, till the end part of KPK, till the end part of Gilgit-Baltistan, Kashmir, we are a cricket-loving nation. I don't know whether, because you're familiar with a name called Brogul, a place, it's near Gilgit. I mean, you need to walk 7 hours till there. and the generator style of Hassan Ali is so famous over there. That enthusiasm is there, is with the crowd over there. Cricket, we are loving.
You mean Hassan Ali celebration?
Yeah, the generator style basically they call them as a generator style, the Hassan Ali celebration. So that's what Pakistan cricket loving nation is. I mean, the way especially the credit goes to the Pakistan security forces, I would say, they conducted a friendly match over there, and they showed that this is a peace country. Wherever you want to play cricket matches, you're welcomed over here. Inshallah, this is a doorway to the international cricket, the World 11 series. You will see our heroes playing in every part of Pakistan.
Generator style, I just got that. It hit me a little bit late when he does that. Yeah, you know who started that celebration? I think it was Brett Lee.
Brett Lee, I was going to say that.
Yeah, I think Brett Lee started that celebration. But anyway, a little bit more on this friendly match in North Waziristan. The reason why I spoke about Peter Oban was because of the way he spoke at the end of the game. And he just didn't speak about cricket, he spoke about the people of Pakistan. He's fascinated by Pakistan, he loves the people. And he spoke about the warmth, the hospitality and the courage of the people of FATA, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. It was a fabulous gesture.
Definitely, Ali, as Mohsin has Awais has summarized it, because it was a very necessary match for that Waziristan people. I mean, they have suffered so much. So the gesture shown by the international media and by the local, I mean, if you see the crowd, that it was jam-packed, and if you look at the names that have played in that game, Inzamam was there, Shahid Afridi, Umar Gul, and some local players. I was just watching, Riaz Afridi was there. So these are really big names for them, and they love to watch them. So it was a very good sign to see these big names traveling and playing such kind of a match at Waziristan, and it will give a lot of boost. Nobody knows, you might find some other great fast bowlers from that region, because they are used to produce these kind of quality fast bowlers. So I think that can really help. And as Awais was telling about that, even if you travel beyond the places which we don't know, like Gilgit or ahead of that, you will find people they really love cricket. Whenever you talk about cricket with them, they will know each and everything about cricket. So it's a very good thing that has happened, and I think it will give a very good message to the international arena that we are a safe country. We have finished the World 11, and straight after that conducting a match in that area which has suffered a lot. So I think it was a really great move to conduct a match at that place.
Well, I mean, speaking about FATA, because I visited FATA, North Waziristan, Wadi Atira and all that, due to the ongoing fight over there, they have gone through up and down period over there, the people especially. And about cricketers, believe me, there are so much talent in that places which can represent Pakistan, which can represent the Pakistan Super Leagues too. I mean, that strong talent you have. I can give you an example of many players from this region playing for Afghanistan. Hamid was there, Shapur was there, then you got Shazad, Kareem Sadiq. He belonged to FATA region. I mean, they even represented FATA Cheetahs in Pakistan. So that's the talent you can produce from there. So it's a good sign to watch on this international exhibition match played over there between Pakistan 11 and the media UK 11. That created a boost. So inshallah, the Pakistan Super League teams, even the domestic teams, can travel over there to find out the talent and pick them and play for the international matches.
I mean, the people of FATA recently, they've seen nothing but violence. So I can't imagine how good, especially the children, how good and excited they were when they saw guys like Inzamam and Shahid Afridi and Umar Gul. I remember, Mohsin, that when I was about 8 or 9 years old, the Pakistani cricket team played an exhibition match in Islamabad, and I was just so thrilled to see Wasim Akram, who was like to me like a giant at that time, and Saqlain, Mushtaq Ahmed. I remember Moin Khan was there as well. I was just so incredibly excited, but I got to see cricket when I'd go to Rawalpindi when matches were happening in Pindi. I can't even imagine how these young kids that were at the stadium, at the ground, must have been feeling.
It's always helpful when cricket comes home and kids, young cricketers, they see their stars playing in front of them, and we are lacking these sort of activities from last many years, and especially the people of Miranshah and North Waziristan. So I think it was a great gift by Pakistan Army. Remember, this match was played on the directions of Chief of Army Staff. So I think full credit, full marks to him for making sure that the peace is there, and then the happening of this match, and then Peshawar Zalmi, Pakistan Cricket Board and all the security agencies. I think it's a great gift for the people of North Waziristan. And look how excited are these people, how much, like in large numbers, they have come to the ground to watch their stars in front of them, and definitely they got the reward. Shahid Afridi played a very good innings, and it was a proper package for them today. So full marks to Pakistan Army, Peshawar Zilmi, Cricket Board, and these visiting players, because they are really they are helping Pakistan cricket, they are helping us, and they'll definitely portray the best picture of Pakistan, because all the world, they know that North Waziristan, it was the most disturbed area of Pakistan. And now if any match can happen there, it can happen anywhere in Pakistan, and we are very hopeful that during Sri Lankan tour, during West Indian tour, we can see matches in other cities as well, like other than Lahore.
There's no doubt. I mean, Pakistan cricket is going through a purple patch right now. I mean, the wonderful times really with the Champions Trophy win, the World 11, and now this.
A very good time for Pakistan cricket.
Yeah, this is a wonderful time for Pakistan cricket, and we should bask in this. Let's move on now to sad news, really. I mean, like as I said, Pakistan cricket is on a high, but this was terrible what happened during the PSL. Sharjeel Khan has already been banned for 5 years, 2.5 years is a suspension. Khalid Latif has been banned for 5 years. We expected that he would get a harsher sentence, and he has.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because only the mistake what they have committed, definitely they could have, that was the time, and they had to go for any sentence. I mean, and they are banned for 5 years. But still, I see on much, can't say disturbing, but it was a big loss as Sharjeel Khan was banned for Pakistan, because he was a youngster going on great guns for Pakistan team, and sometimes even I think on when he could have been in the Pakistan team, Fakhar Zaman Sharjeel Khan would have been one of the best opening player for Pakistan, because you need someone at the top order. Then second aspect, Khalid Latif, I mean, again he's banned for 5 years. Ali, I don't want to repeat that whatever happened incident back in 2009 when Amir Salman Butt and Asif were banned on, but they could have taken a harsh decision like ban them for life, because I mean this could had never ever repeated on, because most of the players now they know that okay fine, we commit a problem, we will be banned for 5 years, we appeal, we will be banned for 2 years, that's if you're back in the Pakistan team.
Nasrullah, a lot of people argue that life bans should be given, and I can understand why people would say that, but at the same time I don't think this would make it go away. I mean, greed is greed. It's part of human nature, really. I mean, that's not going anywhere. So whether you banned Amir, Asif and Butt for life, or others who were involved for life, I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, to be very honest with you. Cronje was banned for life, South Africa superstar, and you see there was all sorts of match fixing, alleged match fixing going on in the South African T20 league, where quite a few players were banned. What are your thoughts on this?
Ali, I agree with you what you are saying, that the greed will be there, but at least you have to set a standard. It's like you need, Awais is right that at that time in 2010 we got the best chance to set an example, and we did absolutely nothing. I mean, the 5-year ban on Muhammad Amir, Salman.
I'm going to interject here, then I'll let you continue. I mean, I don't think you can really say nothing was done.
I mean,
Amir was banned, but was banned. Asif was banned for 5 years. I know, but you know, justice was done, you could say. I mean, they went to court, they had the chance to appeal, they lost, and this was the punishment that they were given.
Okay, but Ali, the problem here is in this scenario, it's totally different. You got 4 to 5 players in that list who met the bookies, or the one similar guy. One was banned for 6 months, one was banned for a year, and different kind of punishments for different kind of people. Khalid Latif didn't even play a game, single game, and you banned him for 5 years. Sharjeel, who played that game, was banned for 2.5 years, plus a lesser amount of money has been charged. You got 2 more names, in Shahzeb is there, and you got Nasir Jamshed. At least you need to bring something in media, black and white, anything, just to show that they were involved in it. Because yesterday I was listening to the whole show that had happened. Both of their lawyers were talking in that show, and they make some really good sense that they don't have any sort of proof against these 2 players. Firstly, if they are going to do something, they both, Sharjeel and Khalid, are your main openers in T20. You should stop them. You should stop them from playing that particular game. You should stop them from playing that PSL. Send them back home, and that they allowed them to play the game. Let that thing happen, and after that they banned them. So something was really fishy. at least you need to show what really happened, because I mean Khalid Latif, Sharjeel Khan, they have invested so much.
So what
in
you're
their
saying,
cricket.
what you're saying is we're just scratching the surface. This isn't
Definitely,
the
Ali,
full
you
story.
don't have any sort of real thing in front of us, because I was just listening to the whole show, and it was making a lot of sense that at least you need to come up with some kind of proof. If 6 allegations have been proved against you, at least you have to show that to the media or anything else.
One thing, whatever happened back in 2010, even as a great fan of Mohammad Amir, that's something else. But see, I mean, they went through bad patch, they went through jail, they were jailed up, they were banned for 5 to 6 years. See, Amir came back in the Pakistan team. You had a soft corner for him. Why don't you have a soft corner for Salman Butt and Muhammad Asif?
Because they're not performing at that level. Yes, Salman
Butt is performing.
Salman Butt did make a contribution. Yes, he did.
He's performing.
Yeah, no, he scored some runs, but you have to ask yourself, I mean, does Salman Butt really want to get, does he deserve a place in the one-day side or the T20 side?
He deserves a place in
You've got opening
Test match.
batsmen already. Azhar Ali is a run machine now in Test match cricket. You've got guys like Sami Aslam and Shan Masood in there. You've got options. Mohammad Amir, I mean, look, he's like it or not, I mean, like he's doing well. He has a future. So yeah, Mohammad Asif, you've seen the way. I mean, he's still a class bowler, but do you really think he can play international cricket now for Pakistan? Let's be honest.
No, the performance does matter. I say that. It's not that. See, Salman Butt performed in the domestic cup. I know that, but still, okay, fine. Like you say, he does not deserve right now because the performers in the test matches are performing. They deserve more chance than Salman Butt.
Maybe
if
in the test
someone
match
fails
setup,
on, if someone fails on over here, you need to have a backup. Salman Butt is a brilliant one. He's performing in the domestic structure. You need to bring him back in the Pakistan team. So I just say that you need to have a soft corner for everyone who has gone through this punishment.
Mohsin?
Well, I think Nasrullah is absolutely right. What we need to do is, as I always say, that we need to set an example. If anyone is involved at any level of corruption, like ban them for life.
Would you ban Irfan as well?
Definitely. Irfan,
Mohammad
Irfan,
Nawaz?
they were approached and they couldn't report to PCB on time. Their cases were quite different, but they've made a very important point as well. We are treating players in different manners, like they are involved in the same case, almost same sort of allegations, but we are treating them differently. And we are doing this since Amir, Asif and Salman Butt's case. This is not a problem like if we need Amir, Salman or Asif back in the team or not. The problem is why we have a soft corner for these sort of players who have like dented Pakistan's name, who have sold the name of country, who have sold the name of this gentleman's game. I think we need to ban anyone who is involved. I remember what Chairman PCB, Shahryar Khan, then Chairman PCB, what he said when he was coming back to Pakistan after this fixing scandal. He said if anyone found guilty on this scandal, like we'll ban them for life, we'll close the chapter. Like if one is banned for 2.5 years, one is banned for 5 years, and who didn't even play the match, like this is not the punishment
But approaches, the players that were approached and didn't report it, that is a lesser indiscretion. Let's be fair here.
Exactly, but there is another case as well. Some players were approached, but they reported to PCB late. They reported, but the report was made late, and some they didn't even report it to PCB. If we look at Nasir Jamshed's case, he's the main character of this whole spot fixing scandal, and I think he'll be
he's the ringleader.
He's the leader of all this racket. I think Pakistan Cricket Board, they need to ban anyone who is involved anywhere in the world. They need to ban them for life to set an example. Otherwise, any young cricketer who would need any sort of luxury, if he need a car or any luxury, they'll think, okay, no problem, we'll sell the name of our country, then we'll come back after 5 years.
It does beg the question, though, that Sharjeel Khan, 2.5 years is a suspension, and Khalid Latif has been given a full 5-year ban. Yes, that's something that we could talk about, because, I mean, Awais keeps saying soft corners. Maybe, yes, you could argue, one could suspect that there was a soft corner for Khan.
Ali, it's like if you look at Sharjeel case, he played that game and the 2 dot balls, I mean, that didn't justify that he was involved in match fixing, because if as a cricketer, I can say he didn't try, he could easily left the ball alone, he tried to hit the ball. I mean, if you are even playing on a cemented wicket, which people who don't have the knowledge of cricket wicket say that you can easily score 200 plus runs. on that kind of wicket, you need to at least go and have a look at what kind of behavior the wicket is like. So that 2 balls didn't justify that he was involved in match fixing. Khalid Latif, he didn't even play the game. And if he was involved and the PCB officials or the anti-corruption unit, they know it from the start, why didn't they stop them? Because both the openers were set in the T20s and they were making a very firm opening pair for upcoming
You know what I'm going to say?
series.
At least they sent them back.
Definitely.
I mean, okay, fine. I mean, because we've seen what's been happening in other leagues. I mean, the kind of filth that's come out of the IPL. I mean, where teams have completely disappeared, right? So I think, in a way, I understand what you're saying, Nasrullah. But we also have to give the PCB credit for acting. I mean, I didn't see anybody from the IPL coming out. You know, when Mr. Najam Sethi came out immediately and said that this place is crawling with bookies, we have evidence that a couple of players have been involved in this, and we've sent them home. Mohsin.
Well, I think you are right, Ali. Whatever was happened during PSL2, I think Pakistan Cricket Board, it was, I won't give them a credit because they were caught by ICC's anti-corruption unit. It was not caught by
Pakistan Cricket Board. Even they don't have the evidence for that.
If like PCB's unit, they didn't take an action, then again it would have been the action by ICC's anti-corruption unit, and it would be like a same case of the same case like Salman Butt, Asif and Amir, where there would have been nothing in our hands.
The point is,
PCB actually helped these players, because if we leave them with UAE law, because they did corruption, they committed a crime, leave them with UAE law, let them face the jail. Why you like Asif, Amir and Salman Butt? PCB actually helped them by bringing them back to Pakistan. They didn't take any action, and the action was taken by ICC, International Cricket Council, not PCB. If we would have been late by 5 minutes even, then ICC, they straight away they can come and take an action.
Most of the point I'm trying to make is, yes, the ICC, the anti-corruption unit, they were the ones that perhaps caught them, but the PCB was still, they were still working with them, and Mr. Najam Sethi did come out and make a statement. The people who were watching these guys, they did act quickly. So I'm just saying, let's give credit where credit's due, because we've seen what's happened in other leagues as well, and we had been talking about the dangers of spot fixing before this PSL even started. The PCB were talking about it as well.
Ali, well, why they started made tall claims in the start that we'll take a very strict action, we'll ban them for lives, and now the 2.5 years suspension, 5 years suspension. What is this, and why different punishments for different players? Nasrullah is absolutely right. Khalid Latif didn't even play that match.
And see,
Sharjeel Khan, coaches with the Islamabad United, they have recorded their statements, and they all were favouring
Sharjeel Khan. And even Mohsin,
you
know, the PCB even has given a statement about Sharjeel Khan. See, I'm not going against him, but still there's a statement that if he shows a soft, if he cooperates with the Pakistan Cricket Board, they might lift up, they might not totally lift on his back, but they can at least decrease his ban over here. So why a soft corner for one player? Why a strong corner for the other player? That's not fair. I'm talking about whatever happened back in 2010, like you mentioned, and see, it was...
You said you don't like talking about it, OS. You've brought it up 3 times. I'm just
Ali, it's painful. Seriously, yaar. See, we always say that, even as a cricketer, I would say we need to clean Pakistan Super League. But it's not mistake of the Pakistan Super League management. It's not mistake of the Pakistan Cricket Board, not the IPL, because all these cricket leagues are gone through match fixing. You can have an example of Indian Premier League, and even the Indian Cricket League too, the ICL, which started on before IPL. All this corruption started from the Indian Premier League. The bookies, the strong network belonged from ICL. Then it went to the IPL. Now it has travelled all around the world. You need to at least make some measures to stop this. But I don't think so. It would be very easy to stop this on, because
final point, then we have to move on to our next topic.
It's like you were saying about the standards. Australians, English, South Africans, they have set their standards. Australia, they even banned, they didn't play Andrew Salmond after he just missed a single meeting. Peterson suffered. It wasn't match fixing, but you need to set the standards. Even South Africans, a few domestic players recently have been involved in the same scenario, and they have banned them for at least 10 years. It is equal to life ban, because after 10 years you are not able to play cricket. I think you are absolutely right in Asif case that for me he is not an international material right now. Salman Butt can play test cricket, but in T20 or ODI he needs a lot of improvement, because cricket has changed. but in Test cricket definitely he can
He has
easily
a
fit
case,
in,
yeah.
and then your opening is a bit shaky because you are trying so many different players. Like Azhar Ali has got that responsibility. You have tried Sami Aslam, you have tried Ahmed Shahzad,
Masood.
Hafiz, Shan Masood, Khurram Manzoor in the last year. So if the opening slot, then he can easily fit in. But as far as ODI and T20 is concerned, the time is not right for Salman Butt. But the life ban should be there. 5-year ban or 2.5-year ban is not enough. If they are involved in such kind of crime, ban them for at least 10 years, because in that scenario you are at least going for a life ban.
Right. Let's move on now. The upcoming Test series, Sri Lanka versus Pakistan. The Sri Lankans have announced their squad. A couple of new players have come in. They'll be under a lot of pressure, Mohsin, because as I said in my introduction, they were terrible against the Indians. I mean, there's some... Let's talk about their batting first. There is a lot of batting talent there. Karuna Ratne is there, Upal Taranga. I think Mendes is extremely talented, as well as Dick Weller. There's a new guy, Silva, in there, another Silva. He's been scoring a lot of runs in domestic cricket. I think their right-handed opener, Kausal Silva, he's very watchful. He's a good player. But, you know, their shot selection at important times left a lot to be desired. And that's something that they really need to work on against when they're up against the Pakistanis.
Well, they are under tremendous pressure right after that game in the Champions Trophy. That was the last time I think they played well. So it would be a good test match series against Pakistan, because there will be a really test for Pakistani cricketers as well, because we'll be playing first test match series after Yunus Khan and Misbah have left. So I think it will be a test for our batting as well. So we can expect a very good test series. But Sri Lankans, they are very new to test cricket. Most of the cricketers, they are new to test cricket. So I think they'll be under tremendous pressure, and everybody knows that when it comes to UAE, how Pakistan they trap other teams with spinning tracks, and Sri Lankans, they are very much used to of these sort of conditions, because they have got same sort of tracks. So I don't think so Pakistan can easily run through Sri Lankans like Indians did. It would be a really good test match series, because will be facing same sort of conditions, because after Misbah and Yunus have left, it will not be easy for our batting lineup, because only Azhar Ali I can see in the Pakistan team. He can we can say that he's a reliable. Every other batsman, Asad Shafiq, is a very good test batsman, but he's not reliable. He's a very shaky starter, and you can't rely. You never know. He may score 100 in one innings, and then he So it will be a really test case for Pakistan as well, and a very good test match series coming up, because both teams, I think they are same. We are not it will be a really test case for our team as well.
They struggled against spin, did the Sri Lankans. Ashwin got through them, as well as the Chinaman bowler, and also Ravindra Jadeja. So I'm sure they will have a little bit of trouble against Yasir Shah and Mohammad Asghar if he plays. I think Asghar is a fine bowler. I wouldn't be surprised if Yasir and Asghar play together in the same side. So it'll be interesting to see how Sri Lanka go, but they've got to improve their shot selection. Like I said, the talent is there, but they've got to rein themselves in at the right time.
Ali, talent is there in Sri Lanka. Still, I don't say that they are producing that kind of quality cricketers, because that's just once in a generation, when Sangakkara or Jayawardene kind of a player you get for any team. But after both the bigs, they have been not consistent in the test matches, not even in the one days, not even the T20s. Sri Lanka are struggling over here. UAE wickets, they spin a lot. Especially the Sharjah wicket, you need to be good at the front foot. You need to be good against spin department. Yasir Shah has been brilliant in UAE conditions. So it would be a real challenge for the Sri Lankan batsmen, especially the youngsters, because if you watch this Sri Lankan team, they in the start they go for a good, any batsman 20-30 runs, brilliant on. After 30 runs, I don't know, it's a shaky. They just lose out the confidence, or they get into a pressure when they play more dot balls. They lose on wickets playing regular shots.
I don't think Sarfaraz Ahmed has to do anything differently. Misbah's approach, especially in the UAE, was to grind and wear the opposition down. And I think that's exactly what Sarfaraz needs to do against the Sri Lankans, because as we've been talking about, the Sri Lankan batsmen can be a bit reckless, and they'll get frustrated, especially if Yasir Shah and Asghar and Amir are bowling in the right areas. They'll eventually give the Pakistanis chances.
It's like it's going to be a really real test for Sarfaraz in this test series. It's not going to be an easy series against even Sri Lanka, which has been struggling against India. But I rate India as a very good test team because of Ashwin, Jadeja, and their batting strength. I agree with Mohsin has said, because your batting top 6 or 7 batsmen are all new. You have to rely heavily on 2 names, and that is Azhar Ali and Asad Shafiq. All the other names have not played that much of cricket. You got Sami Aslam, Shan Masood, Babar Azam, Hafiz is not there. You got Sarfaraz, who is not in really good form of late. He is not scoring runs in test matches, and that too playing against the spinners. I'm not sure that Sri Lanka, they will have quality spinners. But
they've got Herat and they've got Sandakan. But so I don't know. I mean, Herat isn't what he used to be.
But still, I mean, we have faced some ordinary spinners, and we have struggled against them as well. So it is going to be really difficult. Usman Salahuddin, and then you got Haris Sohail in. Haris Sohail, after injury, I mean, he has not played that much domestic cricket, so experience is not there in his case as well. So it's not going to be easy series. It's going to be between the 2 team batting side, because Yasir Shah is struggling with his fitness, even Azhar Ali is struggling with his fitness, and they have failed to pass their fitness test. Still, Mickey Arthur is keen to go with Yasir Shah and Azhar Ali, because he knows he cannot rely on any other option. I think Asghar is new to Test cricket, and the pressure is going to be on Sarfaraz. Reason one, he is more likely to be, he is more suited to ODI and T20 captaincy, and in Test matches you have to take 20 wickets, and you need to have an attacking plus defensive strategy. So it's really difficult how he will manage. Obviously he will manage. He is playing cricket for last 10-15 years, but still captaining a Test team is really difficult, and he will learn with the passage of time. So you cannot expect a lot from Sarfaraz. He might struggle in the first test, but in the next series or the coming series, you will see some good result from Sarfaraz. The good thing about this series is both teams are on the same page.
Ali, that's the point where we see to have an attacking cricketer even in the middle order or the opening department who can unsettle the bowlers. I mean, because if you just watch the Pakistan batting lineup, they have got a sameness kind of a batting order till 6th and 7th position. You need to have something attacking cricketer in between, like Umar Akmal. Unfortunately, the incidents with Umar Akmal is something else, but you need to have someone like Fakhar Zaman can be in it, who can attack the bowlers, who can even change on the momentum of the Test cricket.
Right. No, I've just made a face because I like the fact you listened to me, Awais. I didn't know you listened to me so much. Mohsin, look, I mean, we talked about Sri Lanka's batting, and Chandimal, I forgot to mention him. He'll be captaining the Sri Lankans. He too really needs to step up. Does Chandimal? He's been around for quite some time, but he's been very inconsistent. Lakmal is back, so he'll probably be leading their seam attack. There's a left-arm fast bowler, Fernando, who I thought was quite impressive against the Indians, but again, he was wayward. Then you've got, I'm sure, the Sri Lankans at some point in one of the test matches will play Sandakan, and Rangana Herat will be there as well.
Well, Ali, if we talk about their batting lineup, I think they have got a very good talented side. They have showed, like in matches, they were. I didn't see any like team effort by them, but individually they have showed that they can play big innings. Even in the Champions Trophy game against, I think it was against India, which team they have showed that they can play big innings. They can build up partnerships. I think they have got very good batting lineup. What they need to do is to spend time at the wicket, make partnerships, like play session to session. They are a completely talented side, but they are lacking experience. And same is the case with Pakistan. Like our 5 out of those 6 players will be playing for their position in the team. So I think the case is same. There is not much difference in the batting lineup.
One thing the Sri Lankans have always had since I've been watching them play is incredible passion. They absolutely love the game of cricket, and whenever they go out there, they give it 100%. This team, however, now I don't want to say that they're not giving it 100%, but they just don't look as committed as some of the other cricketers were. I think there are lots of problems with the cricket board. I think there are issues going on over there. A lot of the Sri Lankans are a bit overweight. You know, they're not keeping up with international standards. So it's sad to see, but I do believe that the Sri Lankan cricketers, the Sri Lankan people, they will they will come up. It will just take a little bit of time.
Well, I think the politics in Sri Lankan cricket board, it's really hurting their cricket. That's the biggest problem. And if a player like Arjuna Ranatunga, who have won them a World Cup, and like he's the Imran Khan of Sri Lanka, and people like they really love him. Whoever likes cricket likes Ranatunga. If a player like him may feel put allegations on cricketers of like fixing allegations, I think it will really hurt your cricket. It will hurt your cricket team, and it's really hurting them and their Sri Lankan cricket chief. Like there is a lot of politics. Initially I was thinking in the start that there might be Pakistanis at the top if we talk about the politics in sports, but Sri Lanka.
Oh, and the West Indies.
West Indies, but the West Indies case
Pakistan
is
is
quite
nothing in front of the West Indies.
They have got a genuine case. You know, they are different states and they are like
Different
are,
islands.
This is the case, but Sri Lanka, they are like completely, they are politicized every sports, and it's really hurting them. You're right. Whenever you look at Sri Lankan team, if you talk about past, they were a very good side, good players coming up regularly for them. Sri Lanka, Jayawardene or Sangakkara, they are exceptional case. I was watching his record yesterday. He's continuously scoring like century, 80, 70 in county
Scored
cricket.
500s in a row, didn't he? Something insane like that.
And it's exceptional case, but still Sri Lanka, they always get good cricketers. But if we look at this team, they are also very good.
Cricket is strong.
What they need to do is like as their coaches, their cricket board, they need to give them a confidence and they need experience. I am pretty sure this is the same team. They'll be much better after 6 or 7 months, because if they give them some time, it will
I mean,
be
it just
really
seems their thought process is just completely out of place. Like, it just doesn't seem to be working. Like, I know Chandimal's the captain here, but I don't see him or even Taranga or any of these guys taking ownership, right? They don't look like leaders. So maybe it'll take a little bit of time for that to happen. But Sri Lanka they've had problems with their cricket board off and on for a number of years. I remember Marvin Athapattu in Australia. They brought him in because they needed a replacement, and they flew Athapattu and he didn't have much practice. And then at the press conference, he called members of the Sri Lankan cricket board's jokers, right? So this has been going on for quite some time. But as Mohsin was saying, this needs to change because politics is really hurting Sri Lankan cricket.
Well, I mean, definitely, it's just not Sri Lanka. I mean, the politics have been hurting so many sports. I mean, because even you just go through the West Indies cricket board. I mean, West Indies cricket board is totally changed on. I mean, they were one of the strongest teams. I mean, I remember back in the 80s, and they were the unbeatable teams. I mean, and now you know what the situation is with West Indies. I mean, they're just called a T20 team. Yeah. So I mean, so with the Sri Lanka team, it's the same thing happening on. They have got class coming up for the Sri Lankan team. School cricket is very strong, but the thing is that they don't have that experience. Taranga, Chandimal, Matthews, they don't take the ownership. I mean, Matthews has been performing. Chandimal has not been consistent for Sri Lanka. He's one of kind of a batsman. When he goes on, he's
Matthews
brilliant.
Is not there. He's been ruled out.
Yeah, Chandimal, he's kind of a batsman. When he goes on, he's brilliant, but he needs to take the ownership. He needs to stand out over there. Taranga too, they're senior pros. I mean, they need to stand up. But still, Ali, that's the same thing. They don't have the experience what Sangakkara and Jayawardene had. But this team, you need to stick around with them. The main thing is the management, the captain, the board needs to back up this player. They need to stick around with them. They can be a future asset. But you need to slow and steady. Definitely, they'll be good players.
Let's move on now. The final topic, India versus Australia. It's always exciting watching India and Australia playing against each other. India won the first one by 26 runs, I believe, through Duckworth-Lewis. And Australia have done pretty well in the second ODI. They've bowled India out for 250 odd runs, yeah. And they even look good in the first. I mean, if you remember, they had India on the rack. Luckily, Pandya and Dhoni came to India's rescue, and the rain, I'm sure, helped a little bit as well. India, they're looking to attack Australia with spin. Without Ashwin and Jadeja. That's how much faith they have in their youngsters. And I think that's a very good approach, you know, throwing youngsters into the deep end. I think Chahal, the leg spinner, is very good. Left-arm Chinaman bowler. He bowled very well in the first ODI. He's also played Test cricket for India. So I think this is a very good policy that they have.
Elites like India, they because of their IPL, I mean, they got so many young spinners, and they don't put them in foreign tours. Like Chahal was there, who was performing really well. There are other names like Patel was there, but they didn't throw them in
Akshar Patel.
Akshar Patel. I mean, the best advantage of home series is that you play your main spinner or upcoming spinner, which can be your future assets in the home series, who could utilize the home advantage. And I mean, Chahal is getting the same. Akshar Patel did the same. I mean, it's really important that you need to give rest to your premier bowler for the premier tournaments. However, Australia is a very big competitor. You need to play Ashwin and Jadeja, but I mean, in the back mind of Indian think tank, they have thought something about going with some new faces in if they got some injury problems with Ashwin or Jadeja. And I mean, it's really aggressive approach. And the way their main player Pandya is performing, I mean, 87 for 5, and
incredible ball striker.
I mean, Dhoni is known for that kind of inning. I mean, Dhoni has been there for ages now, but Pandya, I mean, the aggression is there, and the way he used to play. The massive sixes he used to hit, I mean 80 odd runs, 5 sixes, it's quite incredible. Even in today's game, I mean, Virat Kohli, the class is there, 92 runs today again. So you could see the Australians are fighting, they are fighting back really hard. They got some new names as well. Stark is not there. I mean, they don't have the luxury of the experienced bowler. You got Conton Nile, Richardson, who have been a bit.
They did very well today. Colton Isle,
well.
I think, has really improved. Nathan Colton Isle, Richardson bowled very well. So they've got some good bowlers in there. Pat Cummins is an excellent prospect for Australia. He's been there for some time. It's good to see that he's playing a lot of cricket now. Remember, he had injury problems, but I've been most impressed with Nathan Colton Isle.
Well, I think they've showed a great fight, Australians, because when I was watching this ODI, Australian, like Indians, they were looking, they can easily score 300 runs, around 300 runs when Virat Kohli and Rahane was playing, then Virat Kohli and the other one, Ketar Yadav. But absolutely a very good like fight by Australians. They restricted India to 250, and now it's like, we all know that Indian wickets, and especially if Eden Garden, Kolkata's wicket, it's very much batting wicket. There was a rain from last 3 days, but outfield is still very quick. I think it's a very good, we can expect a very good match, and Australians, they can score these runs. They are showing a very good fight in India, and it would be a very good test ODI series. But one thing I don't understand, if we look at Australia's last tour to India, George Bailey was the highest run scorer, and they are not including George Bailey in this 11. And another thing, James Faulkner, we all know that he's very good in Indian conditions with his bat, with his ball, and but he's not in the 11.
Yeah, maybe there's some issue with him, but he did play the first game.
Yeah, but I think Australia, they need to include players like him, and also Adam Zampa, because he's an attacking option. He's an attacking option, so Australia need to counter-attack Indians and treat them with the same medicine India is trying to give them.
You're talking about the 2013 series, right, where Bailey was absolutely amazing, and James Faulkner.
Exactly, I think they need to be aggressive. They are fighting very hard. You made a good point. Actually, I think ran camp for the ran camp to help Indians in the first game. Even an Australian cricketer, Dean Jones, when he said that Indians were like, they gone mad, like you are trying to take credit out of our team. So I think Australians, they are showing up a very good fight, and it's really a good news that Australians, they have restricted India to 250 on this batting paradise.
If you think about it, we talk about India's ability with the bat and the kind of strikers that they have down the order. Nasrullah talked in detail about Pandya and what he did in the first ODI. But if you look at the Australian side, I mean, they've got some formidable power in there. I mean, I don't need to say anything about David Warner, do I?
No.
And then you've got a guy like Travis Head,
Maxwell,
coming in the middle order. Maxwell, Stoinis is there. And then, as Mohsin quite rightly mentioned, James Faulkner. I mean, these guys can be absolute killers. So, I mean, India shouldn't be, I'm sure they're not, but I mean, yeah, I know India are favourites, but they won't be breathing easy.
Ali, I mean, beating India in the home conditions is never easy on. I mean, you know what they have done to the other teams, but still Australia is one kind of a team who fights till the end, whatever score it is. I mean, if you need 10 runs to, they fight till the last time, and that's what I love about Australia. Looking at the Australian batting lineup over here, 250 score might be a tough fight, because the Indian spinners, they are doing brilliantly, but the Australian batsmen, they need to ease up, because I mean, 250 is chaseable easy on. Looking at the Australian batting lineup over here, but we always used to bless the Indian batting lineup, but India has produced very good bowlers now. I mean, if you just watch the attack bowlers too, which almost go till 140, 145 click. So they are producing fast bowlers too. Spinners have been brilliant with the Indian team, and it's a good sign to watch on. They have got a strong bench lineup. When your key spinner Ashwin, I mean, because he's the backbone of the spin department, not playing, including youngsters over here, showing faith in them, and they're still performing for you. That's the plus point what you need in a team with a strong bench lineup. And IPL has given them a lot of talent. I mean, the spin department, even the batting order, one goes on, you have got 3 Dhonis ready for the Indian team. I mean, Sarfraz, a youngster, remember, who plays for Bangalore, he's a brilliant under-19 product, I mean, who can represent India. So they have got strong bench lineups sitting outside.
Final point, gentlemen, then we have to wrap up the show. We've talked a lot about India's batting, but if you look at their bowling lineup, Wes is talking about it a little bit. I mean, Mohsin, growing up, I mean, you probably watched in India playing cricket in the 90s when their bowling attack wasn't all that. But looking at their bowling attack now, it just seems as if they have more options, which gives them an edge in all forms of cricket.
Exactly. If you look at their bowling lineup, Mohammad Shami is out of like 11, and he's a player with an average of 25, around 25 in ODI cricket these days, and he got very good pace.
Got an incredible memory,
and he's still out, and he's still out. I think Indians, they are much changed team now. There was a time like when I was young kid, looking at Indian bowlers, I used to dream that I wish if I can play international cricket and treat these Indian bowlers like they were very slow.
Only if you could bat like say that 130, maybe, but I don't think it was that easy either.
But still, they are very easy. If you look at Pakistani, Australians, South Africans, English, like they are very quick, swing. They got swing. They are pacey.
Well,
but
England's
Indians,
bowling attack in the 90s, they weren't that great. I mean, they became better.
But later on, late 90s, they were like good. When I had Alan Mullally, Darren Gough, they came. They were good. Like
Alan Mullally, I haven't heard that name in so long.
He was a left arm swing bowler. He was a good bowler, but Indians, they are changed now. IPL have really helped them. There was not only IPL, there are so many other leagues going on in India. So I think Indians, they are a much changed team now. Batting, we all know, like since very long, they are a very good batting unit, but now they're bowling, they have got very good bench strength as well. So if we talk about this ODI, I think Australians, I would rate them favorite in this test match because they have scored already, they have scored 80 runs, and Smith is there, Head is playing. I think Australians, they are favorite in this test match. Like I would say it's 70-30 Australia.
Fantastic stuff, Mohsin. Fantastic stuff. Gentlemen, we've got to leave it at that. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
It's a pleasure. That's all we have time for. Keep watching Sports Extra on PTV World. See you next time. Bye-bye.